Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today, we're discussing a model launched in late 2021, 40.5 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. This is the Grand Seiko GMT SBGM247, a timepiece 40.5 millimeters in diameter that measures 14.7 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, the distance across the wrist is 48.6 millimeters. If you include the end links of the bracelet, then it is 52.3 millimeters across the wrist with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and you can see it actually fits just like the aesthetically somewhat similar Rolex Explorer 242. Well, this watch is a lot thicker. From end link to end link across the wrist, there's only half a millimeter difference between the two of them, with the Rolex being 52.8 across the wrist and this being 52.3, so very close. I recommend this watch for a wrist no smaller than 15 centimeters in circumference. Take note, on a smaller wrist, it will wear better on a strap than this bracelet. It'll fit underneath jacket cuffs, but maybe not the tightest of dress sleeves. The bracelet is relatively oyster-like. It's a 3-link design, satinated across the top. There's a conforming end link. We have a little rolled bevel on the side, and then the outer faces are polished. We have screw-fixed removable links, and you can see there's a little half link added on each side for intermediate sizing. Then we have 4 divots drilled inside the clasps. You can use your strap tool to move the spring bar and change the anchoring point of the bracelet in the clasp. We have a stamped clasp with a twin trigger release and a thick gauge steel single folding swing arm rolling around the case. Satinated on the lug hoods, there's a bevel between the hoods and the flanks. The flanks are polished using Grand Seiko's tin plate polishing method, which is an artisanal technique for achieving a mirrored finish. It takes about 3 years to learn this art, and it ensures that every one of these cases will be hand finished, whereas for comparison, the $9,500 you pay for a Rolex Explorer 2 buys you no case hand finishing. This watch costs thousands less, the case is hand finished, and so is the dial, as these lush and lovely little pieces of dial furniture are all micro-finished using diamond-tipped milling tools by artisans who just make dial parts all day long at Grand Seiko. So we have satination, we have polish on the same component here, the best example being the hands at center, which have beveled edges, and you can see the blade-like edges are polished, and then the tops are satinated. We also have those lovely faceted satinated and polished hour indices. There's also a frame for the date and the Grand Seiko logo. All these pieces are also placed by hand. The watch is well loomed. We'll do a quick loom shot here. And you can see easily that the 24-hour hand, the second time zone, is also luminescent. The watch includes a rather Rolex-like orange arrow index for that secondary time zone. You can see that there is a flange inboard that acts as the scale against which you read that 24-hour hand, which makes one circuit around the dial every 24 hours. So you have 2 different independent time zones. Hacking seconds is active when you're setting everything in sync. And then when you're changing the local time, you can see how the seconds hand continues to move, and the watch will not disrupt the reference time zone, the seconds hand, or the minute hand as you jump forward and backward through time zones. This reference has a lovely olive green sunburst metallic dial that adds immense character, and you can see that that character is also echoed in the flange, which is alternately silver and then green. Turning the watch over, not much to see. Solid case back, 200 meters of water resistance, and we have manufactured caliber 9S66. It is watchmaker assembled, regulated, and when the time comes, watchmaker serviced. So this watch receives a lot of manual attention inside and out. This is made at the Shizuku Ishii studio in Morioka. Grand Seiko has 2 factories, one for quartz and spring drive, one for mechanical. This comes from the Morioka area studio. The automatic winder has a 72-hour power reserve. It beats 8 beats per second, pivots on 35 joules. It has stop seconds, the 12 and 24-hour independent time zones, and it has been adjusted in 6 positions and tested for 12 days to verify that it varies by no more than -3 + 5 seconds per day during that testing period. For a comparable testing period, the 5-position COSC chronometer test allows tolerances of -4 + 6, so this is even a little bit better than that. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.